Ana, ina waka, ina reo, iro rangatira mā, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa. Kia ora, my name is Rachel Froggatt and I'm Secretary General of the International Working Group on Women in Sport and also Chief Executive here in New Zealand of Women in Sport, Aotearoa. It's my absolute pleasure today to introduce you to a brand new initiative that we're going live with today, Wednesday the 29th of September 2021 at the Sport New Zealand Women and Girls Summit. So over the past 3 years, Women in Sport Aotearoa has had the privilege of hosting the IWG here in Aotearoa, New Zealand. And for those of you that have perhaps less familiarity, the IWG was established in 1994, and it is the world's largest network dedicated to advancing gender equity and equality for women and girls in sport and physical activity. And quite uniquely, it sits with a new host nation every 4 years. And at the end of the period, you host the World Conference. So in May of next year, we will be hosting the 8th IWG World Conference on Women in Sport, both as a physical event here in Tamaki Makaurau, Auckland, but also as an online virtual event that will be highly interactive and will bring together speakers and content from all over the world. So in the journey toward and beyond the 8th IWG World Conference on Women in Sport, we decided to create this really unique initiative called the IWG Insight Hub. So let me show this to you. So the Insight Hub has really come from this inspiration, this idea that there are thousands of really fantastic stories and examples of people doing just fantastic work everywhere to advance women and girls in sport and physical activity. And we as the network have the opportunity to share those stories all around the world. So the Insight Hub has been created in order for you to tell us what you're doing and share that with your colleagues all around the world. So if we have a look at how it's organised, you start with the homepage here. You actually get to this by visiting iwgwomeninsport.org and clicking on Insight Hub, and this is where we launch to. The content is organised into 5 key themes, which are identical actually to the World Conference next year. And as you scroll down the homepage, you begin to see the content that's available for you to have a look at. So news stories, case studies, research, toolkits, and of course, video and audio. You can actually find this content via this map view if this is the way that you'd like to do it. And you can explore the global insights by clicking into there, but we'll come back to that in just a moment. If we scroll a bit further down, you start to see some examples of the content coming through. So here are some popular insights that have been picked up from our database already, and of course, some latest insights. So these are new just over the last couple of days. If you scroll down, you can make a submission, and this is really cool. You can actually jump onto this and put your content in, and that can be published on the platform. If we scroll down, we can have a look at some of the history of the IWG, and you can subscribe to our newsletter. So you get alerts basically to tell you if there's anything really cool that's arrived onto the platform that would be relevant to you. So if we jump into the insights section, I just want to show you some of the really fantastic work that's gone on here in terms of organising the content. So as we go live today, we have 30 pieces of content from all over the world, but we're expecting that to grow significantly over the next wee while as people start to load their stories from all over the world. So you can search by topic. So this is a drop down. So we've got 7 different topics that for those with eagle eyes will recognise as topics that we're using for the World Conference next year as well. You can have a look for activities. So you can type in the type of sport or physical activity that you're looking for. You can also search by region. So all the different regions here, and then by the content type itself as well. And for those of you that perhaps don't like the grid view, you can search by map view as well. So you can flick back and forth between those 2 ones. So if we jump into an example of a piece of content, we're going to click on We Play Interactive by Sarah Axelson at the Women's Sport Foundation in the United States. And if we scroll down, we can actually see Sarah herself here. If you click on her picture, you can actually see her profile, and you can find out all about her and have a look at the insights that she has submitted to the platform. So they will begin to build up inside her profile like that. If we jump back to the case study itself, you can see that Women's Sport Foundation is a signatory to the Brighton Declaration, And you can see that she has nominated Morgan Powell as her co-author here. So it's really great that you can really give the right credits to the right people. You can have a read through the case study itself, scrolling down and having a look. And if you like it, you can actually tell us that. So you can actually click to say that it's great, and that vote will be taken, and this insight will move through to the popular insight section. Now, what's really cool here is that you can actually find similar insights. So depending on what your search terms are, this will actually offer you other examples here that you can have a look at that might be relevant to what you're looking for. A couple of other really cool little things on the side here. You can actually choose to save this insight. So it goes up into your little saved items there. You can print it, and you can also download the insights if you'd like to actually create a presentation that shows some examples of some of the work happening around the world. And finally, you can share those insights there. So if we jump across to the events section, this is a great place for you to promote your events that are coming up. We know so many things are digital now. So if you have an event that's digital or hybrid that you think international audiences might be interested in, send them to us, because we'd love to promote them, and we'd love to make sure that you get an international audience to your storytelling. So you can see a couple of examples. We're at Sport New Zealand Women and Girls Summit today. We've got the Africa Women in Sport Conference coming up, and of course the 8th IWG World Conference on Women in Sport next May, which I have to say registrations are now open for if you would like to get in ahead of the crowd. So if we look at partnerships, this is split into a couple of different areas. I have to say a massive thank you here to all our partners. We've had so many people help us on the journey towards today's launch. Our Insight partners, there's a collection here of a few of them, but we're expecting this will change, and lots of great partnerships will come in here with our friends and family all around the world. Some examples are Women's Sport International, Episcopal, and of course Women's Sport Foundation. And actually, if you click on that one, here is a good example of the profiling that we can do of your organization. So we can show a little bit of a bio about you and all of the insights that are coming through from your people. A couple of great examples here. Not only Sarah, but actually Karen Isaacson Silva has been contributing as well from Women's Sport Foundation too. So if we just have a quick look at IWG leadership, if you're looking for content from us in New Zealand or from the IWG Global Executive, you can find it here. So you're starting to see Rosa and Hame starting to contribute insights here. You can have a look at videos, which is content that's come on from a lot of video work that we've done in the last 18 months, and lots of great leaders that you can have a look at there. The IWG progress report is here under resources, so have a look at some of the trends and some of the work that's come in the last 30 odd years. And of course, when the World Conference goes live next year, we'll also have content here that you can actually download. Finally, if we just look at about IWG, this is all about us as an organisation with a legacy since 1994 and all of the host nations that have looked after the IWG over time. You can actually click into these links and read about the work that was done during that time as well, which is pretty cool. Finally, just down here, we're incredibly proud as an organisation to have this phenomenal group of leaders that lead us as the IWG Global Executive. So if you can click into each of these, read about these people with their bios and their amazing work they do internationally. And if we, for example, look at Hame here, you can find out all about her, and you can actually start to see the insights that she is submitting. So here's a good example of one that she's put in as well. So finally, just want to touch on creating and submitting content. So if you want to submit content, you do need to be a registered contributor. It's a really simple form to fill in. So literally just a little bit of detail there, your organisation, and a couple of click boxes there, and you click on register, and we will receive that and sort you out with a membership. If you're already a contributor, you literally can click into here. So you can see I'm already a preset. And go into this section and have a look at the insights. Now, I haven't actually put any in yet. That's my job for this week. But if I was to submit an insight, I'd have to click on Submit Insight and then start to feed content in here. What's awesome is you can actually save it and finish it later. So you can actually work on your content for a little while before you submit it to us. We'll do a quick moderation on it, and then we'll post it to the platform so people can see the fantastic work that you're doing. So finally, everything on the platform is currently available in English, French and Spanish, and we'll be looking at other languages as we go forward. So it's been my real privilege to give you a bit of a snapshot of the IWG Insight Hub today. We do have a Women in Sport Aotearoa version coming. It's coming in November of this year. It'll be much more tailored to Aotearoa New Zealand with more local insights on it. But you can contribute now to both the global IWG Insight Hub and also in preparation for the new Women in Sport Aotearoa version going live later this year. So a massive thank you to everyone that's helped us on this journey. It's been 3 years in the dreaming and probably close to a year in the actual build now. A massive thank you to Sport New Zealand in particular for your support and the funding and support that you've given us along this journey. Huge thank you to the IWG Global Executive for their support and the IWG New Zealand leadership for their vision around this idea. Huge thank you to Sinead Kirio and Peter Forrest, our agencies Gravitate and Bob's Your Uncle for bringing this idea to life in such a wonderful way. So, ka kite anō, thank you for listening. Kia ora.